Why is it looking like that? Peace. I don't know why it's doing that, but peace to everybody out there. Shalom, hetep, hotep, whatever. Konnichiwa. It's like, nah. I just wanted to talk about a couple things. So, of course, I've been looking up stuff about the Hebrews, and I didn't even know they were real people. I mean, the Egyptians mentioned the haplogroups, but I was just like, oh, it's in the Bible, so. All right. Anyways, but I've been researching, and Hebrews are people with E1B1A, the haplogroup, and variations of E1B1A. For example, my teacher, Dr. Alim El Bey, talks about how Ramses III has E1B1A, and so does Nelson Mandela. And we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff too. I don't know. I'm even, well, like, you have the Aboriginal Americans also. There's a documentary called Tracking the First Americans, and it's by Ancient Voices. I think it's a British broadcast. BBC. You guessed it. Here we are. I could probably screen share this stuff, but Richard Henry proves that paternal haplogroup E1B1A is the real Israelite lineage. This is February 28th, 2017. That was the time. That's him. Shouts to my guy. I'm just gonna read what this says. Richard Henry has proof that the descendants of the black enslaved people, that's what I'm gonna say, who left West Africa are descendants of the biblical Israelites. He says that people falsely believe that the paternal haplogroup J is the haplogroup that had came from Abraham, but Henry states that E1B1A is the haplogroup that not only Jacob had, but also his 12 sons. All right. So, and this is what you always hear the Israelites say. That's down on the corner. I mean, I guess I would be a Hebrew by blood. Got to find out if I got E1B1A. I'm sure I do. And then what I was talking about too is you get these people. Like, it's a page I follow. Shoot, I like the page. I think it might be Negroes to Jews. It could be anything, but along those lines, or Hebrews. And it's like, do you meditate? Like you're not supposed to meditate. Like, do you like use crystals? Like, God would have made all that stuff. For people say the Most High, but it ain't nothing outside of yourself. As above, so below. I don't care what nobody says. Shoot. All right. I knew they always say this too. Go to Deuteronomy. And I said this today, that I was going to look at me saying this. Go to Deuteronomy. All right. But I'm saying, hey, here we go. If you look at I'm going to say it like that. If you look at the 28th chapter, verse 68 of Deuteronomy, I can't even say it, Deuteronomy. It says the Israelites will be sent to Egypt or America. Messing around. Third eye gang. Oh yeah, breathing is the most important thing. Just so if I didn't tell y'all nothing. All right, on ships, which pinpoint the Africans who were taken from West Africa and sent to different parts of the world, such as the Americas and Europe. The Atlantic, no, not even what it says. My bad. I'm thinking about the Atlantic Ocean. The Africans went to the Americans on ships known as the Middle Passage, says Henry. This is what else he says. The Black Israelites were in slavery in the Americas and Europe because their ancestors disobeyed Yahweh in the ancient days. Now that ain't got nothing to do with me. So I hope that ain't true. I don't want it to justify this type of shit that be happening to us. I know a lot about my ancestors, and I'm supposedly 28% Nigerian and other things, and like 20% white out of all of this stuff. So, less than 1% South Indian, so Hindu. And she went down. Mahakalayati Mahi Tano Badger Prachodaya. Oh, what you know about that? All right. Yeah, people just get spooked out like Kali Ma. Like I'm live on you. But I picked up. All right, I'm gonna hit you right back. So Yahweh sent his son Yeshua to help cleanse the hearts of the Israelites during the Roman occupation, but the Jews would not listen. I ain't gonna say, I guess, well, of course, I don't believe in white Jesus. That'll make me go back to saying something else too. Because the two white ancestors that I know of that were my fourth great grandfathers, both sides of my family. Sure, it wasn't consensual, like it's something they wanted to do. Because I feel like one person was like 53 and somebody was like 18. So I really don't even want to talk about that kind of stuff, but it make me angry. Cause yeah, I ain't proud of that shit. And it's like, I gotta make me some babies that's even more whatever, African or American. Ain't getting that. Yeah, I said it. It's like I had to be the one. I had to make the sacrifice so my kids could be more black than me. And I look like, because it's wintertime. Shit. 20%. There you go. You can see. Let's get this shit rolling. But I don't think, there's a savior outside of yourself either. So that's the main thing. Christ is the anointing oil. And y'all know about that, or the kundalini, because people told you not to look into that stuff or meditate or chakras. Because they don't know about the left hand and the right hand path and the middle pillar. And that is Hebrew stuff. Kabbalah bitches. Kabbalah. Not cool. Alright. So they didn't listen to Jesus, Yeshua. However, Yahweh does promise to restore his people back to their ancestral homeland. Yeshua, also called Jesus Christ, by many was a black Jewish man who looked like a modern day black Israelite. He was not a Caucasian, like the media tries to portray. All right? Somebody's telling you this. 2017. I was telling you this. The Jewish men who lived in Israel during the Roman occupation most likely had the E1B1A haplogroup. And were of black and brown skin color, says Richard. People also need to understand that the Jews were only a small portion of the Israelites who descended from Jacob's son Judah. All Israelites are not Jews, but all Jews are Israelites. So again, the Jews are only a small portion of the Israelites who descended from Judah. All right. Now it makes sense. I had to read it like 3 times. The Jews aren't, but the portion of the Israelites, nigga. That's true. But I mean, hey, E1B1A. That's what they're talking about. A paternal haplogroup is passed from father to son, and a maternal haplogroup is passed from mother to daughter, and from mother to son, since males get 2 haplogroups, while females only get 1 haplogroup. All right. Yeah, that is true. Only men will be found with the haplogroup E1B1A. But if a woman's father has this haplogroup, then she is an Israelite as well. Look at you. And most likely L1 haplogroup, L2, whatever. All right. Jacob passed the haplogroup E1B1A to his 12 sons, who became the nations of Israel. The Bantu males in Africa also have the haplogroup E1B1A in abundance and are descendants of the biblical Israelites. Scientists have claimed that there was a Bantu expansion in Africa. The reality is that the Bantu expansion was the scattering of the Israelites on the African continent. See, and I read that, and I know that, but Bantu is an African language, not a Semitic language. So it makes me wonder too. Put a pin in that. The Ashkenazi Jews, which Ashkenaz is a Hebrew word for German. So these are German Jews, are not the descendants of Abraham unless they have E1B1A, which they hardly ever have. They use the haplogroups most common to them and force it upon us to prove that they are the descendants. To prove that they are the descendants of the biblical Israelites, which deceives many people, says Henry. Based upon DNA science, most Ashkenazi Jews are not the descendants of biblical Israelites. Was Kyrie Irving right? Kanye. The Middle East is actually Northeast Africa. Okay. All right. I'm gonna skip a little bit. And it's something that the media won't speak about. Okay. Afro-Asiatic, Ham Shem. That's true. I was just about to say this. Another thing that people are unaware of is that the country of Israel sits on the African tectonic plate. It has plants and animals that are African species. Israel is in Africa. uh, any male, regardless of race, who has the paternal haplogroup E1B1A is a true descendant of the biblical Israelites. But most of the men in the world who have the haplogroup E1B1A are black men. It's mostly found in black men who live in Canada, America, the Caribbeans, Latin America, Europe, and Africa. The haplogroup J has been widely recognized as Abraham's lineage, but people have been misled. The oldest fossils of the haplogroup J were found in Eurasia, and the only reason it is found in the Middle East is because of the invasions of foreign peoples during the last few thousand years. So British, French, Romans, Greeks, Turks, Babylonians, and Assyrians. All right. All right. And now he goes to talk about the Limba tribe. I just skipped a little bit of something, but it says the Israelites were a black and brown people who resembled today's black people. Uh, and talking about jet match, E1B1A goes back to Yemen. That's why. Oh, we actually got somebody on here with it talking about this stuff. The real Hebrews. I mean, I don't know. The Limba tribe of Africa claim that they are descended from the biblical Israelites and claim that they fled Israel during the brutal Roman occupation. I feel like they should call it captivity, but I don't know. They settled in Yemen before moving into Africa. Excuse me. They have E1B1A among their males at a high percentage. So it says if you go to GEDmatch and choose, I'm gonna do this. If you choose the MDLP project calculators, it will show you that those with the E1B1A haplogroup have ancestry that goes back to Yemen. I even searched the kit numbers of those with haplogroup J, and they did not go to Yemen. There's a ton of evidence in the Bible. Excuse me. That many of the ancient Israelites traveled to the African continent and lived there. All right, here we go right here. In Nigeria, there are a group of Igbo Jews who practice Judaism and have E1B1A in abundance in their DNA. And it says I'm 28% Nigerian. The Kohen haplogroup, which Ashkenazi Jews claims that proves that you're a Levitical priest, does not appear within E1B1A. Well, they ain't the real Kohen. It says that their, you know, haplogroup has nothing to do with Abraham or the biblical Israelites. This says Richard recommends that men and women get tested at 23andMe because it will give you a very accurate paternal and maternal haplogroup. This is what I was just saying. The maternal haplogroups L2 and L3 are the same haplogroups that the wives of Jacob's 12 sons had. And Jacob's 4 wives had. Those who are positive for these haplogroups are Israelites on the maternal side. A male or female can have these haplogroups. People who have these haplogroups had an ancient female ancestor who was a black Israelite. Send chills down my spine every time, and I love it, and I love it. So, and I like it, like when I'm on the block with you. All right. It says that the paternal haplogroup E1B1A Israelite lineage is the most important lineage of the Israelites. But excuse me. But we can include the maternal haplogroups of L2 and L3. Must be the standard for it's E1B1A is the standard for determining whether or not a male is a descendant of the biblical Israelites. The Ashkenazi Jews say that the maternal haplogroup is not the most, or it is the most important lineage, but that's not true, says Henry. Well, I wouldn't say it's not important, or most important. They would both be important. How about that? But in determining if you are a black Hebrew Israelite, like this is talking about, then it's saying your father is a Jew, is a Negro. 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 And Aboriginal people is called Neji. Oh, Aboriginal people, yeah. From, if you want to go with the out of Africa theory, people island hopped. Where's my little globe at? They island hopped. Probably from India to Melanesia and Australia and all that stuff. Island hop, whatever. And it came to South America. And then the Mongoloid people ended up ended up killing those people, a lot of them off, and intermarrying with them. That's what they had, the Aboriginal people had to do to stay alive, or they ran away. And they went all the way to the south, Tierra del Fuego, the Fuegians. And that Lucia was not Mongoloid. If you read about it too, it talks about all this stuff, but then it goes to say, oh yeah, she wasn't African, or she wasn't Aboriginal Australian, or that mixed with African or whatever. They always gonna try to contradict, but there's like, you can look up the woman of Guadalupe, 28 million years old, fossil, a person, 5'2", like that from a lean. And you can literally look it up. People are talking about this stuff, Get on YouTube, look it up. Woman of Guadalupe. E1B1A has many subgroups or mutations, and those who get tested need to see what mutation they have, because depending on the mutation of this haplogroup that you have will determine which of Jacob's 12 sons you are descended from, which is true. I mean, but as long as your haplogroup has the first 5 characters, E1B1A, regardless of what follows it, so what other variations of it, you are indeed an Israelite. Now that's just what, I'm just reading this. I can't prove it. But I know if I get E1B1A as a result, and then a haplogroup, that would just sounds like it makes you an Israelite. From Negroes to Jews, bitches. This says he had Richard Henry tested positive for the haplogroup EM180, which is a subgroup of E1B1A, and indicates that he descended from the priestly line of Judah. I mean, Levi. Look, I just said that to you. Leviathan. All right, I'm about to go do some mantras and chant. Many people around the world are waking up to the fact that Black people in the Americas, Africa, Canada, all these places, the Caribbeans, and Europe are the real biblical Israelites. I want to get the word out, so that people will know the truth. Thank you, homie. I actually emailed him. See if he emailed me back. I messaged him. Well, he ain't got back to me yet. He might not have the same email after 7 years. It ain't even been 7 years, but I just wanted to say that it sounds good. I might even go back to the. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to read the little part I missed. Right, like if y'all want his email address, go to the website. I'll actually tell you what I looked up, what I Googled. Hebrews, E1B1A haplogroup. I left the A off of the word haplogroup. There we go. And if you go down to Richard Henry proves the paternal haplogroup E1B1A is the. That's what it says. People who left Africa, West Africa, are descendants of the biblical Israelites. I mean, there's so much information I don't hear about it. Somebody was saying something, I didn't pay attention to what they were saying. Oh, that ain't true no more. That's outdated information. Now, they're talking about the Hebrew Israelites to be on the corner. You talk about them right there. Yeah, I ain't gonna be doing that. Um, the Gold Coast, right here where it says the Slave Coast, it says Judah. I think I'm on Quora now. Excuse me. I looked something else up though. It had a lot of information. It says if you contain E1B1A, Negro descent, they're called Negrito in the Asian islands, falsely called African Americans, the slaves of modern day Egypt, America, KKK, America. Now, and I wouldn't say it's Egypt, not for, I guess, metaphorically, but I don't think Egyptians enslaved the Hebrew people. Some of the Bible is allegory. I'm more into the occult. I'm just talking about this stuff because it's like it has some truth to it. And if Alim El Bey was talking about it, it's obviously some shit we need to know. God, excuse me. I don't know what's going on. My back. I do a lot of backflips, y'all. A lot of backflips. Well known where I live. Hey, look up. Is E1B1A? Where is this? Where's this shit at? Damn it. I need to. No, I do need to meditate. I'll be talking shit, but. Excuse me. I'm sure I got the pictures in my phone. Quora. It's even a group on Facebook. Everybody knows about the E1B1A. 3 years ago.
All right, fam, we're back. Just going to go ahead and allow some more time to have folks come on through.
This is a 2-hour video. I ain't about to watch this. Not on here. I'm going to talk more about some stuff. Look at this dude. Black Hebrew Israelites.
All right, so hopefully they can hear you okay, and then they can hear me okay.
All right. Are the Igbo tribe the only Hebrews in West Africa? No, I think also
so we're going to go ahead and get started
the Yoruba,
because most people will see this on the replay versus live. Anyway,
that's what it says. Israelite origin of the Yoruba.
What you guys are looking at right now, again, my name is Dwayne Harris. I'm with Biblical Hebrew Awakening as well as Rebirth of a Nation or Hebrew Nation Building. have various assemblies around the country.
This little girl right here.
I do a lot of extensive research into
Hebrew.
genetics,
You can't even see.
obviously
She
our
look just
history,
like.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so, I was talking with Zion. We had a very good discussion.
Hebrew Israelite
couple
history
of,
in America,
days ago,
hidden history.
maybe about a week ago as well. And it was
A
great.
Khan,
We had a chance to talk about a lot of different things. And
Yoruba
we had a
and
chance to talk
Igbo
about
Israelite
DNA and genetics.
origins and migration.
And I thought it would be a
West
good
Africa.
idea to recap some of the things we spoke about. There's a lot of confusion in regards to the DNA. And everybody, for the most part, at least at one point in time, has heard about E1B1A, E1B1A, and it's been beat down. We're going to get right into it. Number one, before we even get started, I want to talk about
I messed that up.
brother, and he has the haplotype of E1B1. I'm going to break this down so you guys have
Just
an
skip some of
understanding
it.
exactly what this is about. And I'm even going to go back to Abraham. Okay? So what you have to understand genetically is this.
So look up
Is
Biblical Hebrew Awakening.
We're going
They
to
got
work from the present
they got videos
all
on
the way
here.
back.
I mean, just type in.
We look at our history, right? We look at our history. Being enslaved in this country for 400 years. We look at what Genesis
Fellowship
says
of the First Resurrection, Israelite origins of the
Abraham's
Yoruba.
descendants being enslaved for 400 years, right? We look at the Deuteronomy 28 curses.
I'll hit y'all back next
Ezekiel
time.
and Jeremiah
Peace.
and Isaiah, and you can see where it's talking about us.